Okay, so now I'm just waiting in the parking lot because I'm going to see Dark Phoenix tonight. I know it's getting really bad reviews, but I'm excited about it. I love X-Men, okay? I don't care what anyone says. I love X-Men. Let me show you what I got at Salvation Army today. It's not a whole lot, but I'm going to go back. My trip was very eventful. I went through all the CDs there. They didn't have anything. Nothing I'm into. No Scandinavian metal. Nothing. Anyway, first book that I got, Three Musketeers. Haven't read it. I thought I should. It's 50 cents. I'll get it. Second book, Wilderness and the American Mind. So I thought this was really interesting. It's nonfiction, but I thought that it was really interesting. But also there's like highlighted things in it, which, by the way, that's a lot to highlight. Okay? That's a lot to highlight. But there's also little written notes in it, and I just love that. This book has character. It has a story. Besides the story, as it's a book, it has a story. A life. A life before I came along. And I get to learn about it. And the other book I got is The Face of Fear. I really like scary thriller books. This book is about this man. There's some sort of accident that occurs, and as a result, he develops a fear of heights, also the ability to see the future, and he starts having visions of a serial killer. That's that. I think it'll be good. Now, this 15th edition Emily Post Etiquette. I'm really excited about this. So, I'm kind of big on like social rules. I don't know how to explain it because it's not like I'm really uptight. I'm definitely not. But there's just these alarms that go off in my head sometimes. Like, for example, if I am with someone and we are both guests in someone else's home, and I see the person I'm with put their feet up on the couch, I'm like, you're not supposed to do that. Well, it's not that intense. It's like, oh, alarm, alarm, alarm. That is against the rules. You're not supposed to do that. Or, petting someone's dog without asking. If I see someone do that, I'm like, you're not supposed to do that. That makes me sound so uptight, but I don't know if you guys have something like that where you can't help it, but if you see something, there's just something that kind of clicks and you're like, oh. I got this book because there is actually useful information in it. My cousin just got married, and whoever owned this book actually marked it with a paperclip, this section on where to seat people at a wedding, the order of walking down the aisle, things like that. That's useful information. It really is. There's tons of other examples. I can't think of any right now, but there is genuinely useful tips in here. But there's also things like toothpicks with food, spaghetti, how you should eat these things, which is kind of silly. And there is some stuff that's plain hilarious. I was going over it with my mom, really funny. And I think what I'm actually going to do is make some videos on some of the stuff I read in here and demonstrate these tips. Because I have other books like this in it. Some of them are freaking hilarious. They're so funny, so funny. So I'll share it with you. Let me move on to what happened at Salvation Army. Okay. So number one, sorry, this armrest is really squeaky. So number one, I ran into an old friend from high school. The other thing that happened, I am sitting there on the floor. I'm sitting on the floor, looking at the books, and this guy comes up to me, and I can't even remember the first thing he said to me. I don't think he said hello. I think he just said, "Do you like books? How old are you?" And I, for some reason, was really caught off guard and forgot my age. And I was thinking, how old am I? Am I 26 yet? Wait, am I 24? No, 25. Does that ever happen? I forgot my age for a second. Does that happen to you? So yeah, I'm like, I'm 25. And he was like, so you like books? And I'm like, well, or he asked me if I like books, and he was like, yeah, I really like reading. I read a lot. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm trying to read more. And I really like coming here and getting like old books and reading those. And then he was like, oh, I like your shoes. I like your Converse. I think Converse are cool. And I was like, oh yeah, I've been wearing them for like 12 or 13 years. And, it's just kind of awkward. And, I'm just making conversation. Here is the thing. He shook my hand when he first came up to me. And And then he shook my hand when he left because he said he had to leave. There's two things. I'll start with the handshake, okay? Now, a lot of men... Okay, when you... It's in this book, I bet. It's in this book, I bet. Let me look. How and when to shake hands, okay? I think that this is information that men need. And hopefully she doesn't say something that I disagree with. Let's see. I'm going to skip over some of this. It's very long. No one likes a boneless hand that feels like one is grasping an empty glove. And that's what happened to me twice, okay? Very, very weak handshake. He just barely He didn't want to hurt me. I get it. I get it. But I am a strong, independent woman. Shake my hand. Where was I? Nor does one appreciate a vice-like grasp that cuts rings into one's flesh and temporarily paralyzes every finger. Really dramatic. The proper handshake is brief, but there should be a firmness and warmth in the clasp, okay? You know, let's see, what else does it say? It should, if a man and a woman are introduced, it should be, up to the woman to extend her hand. However, it does say if he should extend his hand, she must give him hers. Okay? A woman offers to handshake with a man. I think it's fine if a man offers to handshake me. I think that's fine. This was written in 92. An older person extends his or her hand first to a younger one. I don't think that matters. I don't think it matters who puts their hand out to offer a handshake. I think one or both of you should do it. Anyway, a more important person offers his or her hand to a less important person. That's subjective, first of all. And then it talks about other countries, and then there's a section on shaking hands with the handicapped. And you know what? I guess that has to be covered. When you meet someone whose right arm or right hand is missing or is deformed, extend your right hand even though he or she cannot shake hands in a normal way. The handicapped person will appreciate that you have made no unnatural gesture to accommodate his or her disability. He or she will respond by offering his or her left hand or by saying, "Please forgive me, I don't shake hands, but I'm very glad to meet you." If you are disabled or suffering from an injury or illness, blah, 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 you should simply say, "I'm so glad to meet you. Please forgive me for not shaking hands. I have arthritis." That's a good way to get out of shaking someone's hand. Okay. So, yes, he shook my hand, which I thought was very nice. It was very polite. But when he shook my hand, it was very weak. And I think that a lot of men, when they shake women's hands, do that on purpose. You need to give a woman a firm handshake just as you would a man, because it's weird. Nobody wants to touch like a weak, boneless hand, like it said. This guy, like I said, he was really nice. He was really respectful. He was brave enough to just approach a stranger and talk to them and say, "Hey, can I get to know you better?" I thought that was really nice. So I was going to sit there and have a conversation with him and talk to him, because I just thought that was cool. But he wasn't my type, and also there were already a few red flags, to be perfectly honest. For example, he asked me if I drove and let me know that he didn't, and I can't remember where he said he was staying, but he was staying there until he could find an apartment. And I don't know, he was really nice, but we are not a match. I've gone to Burger King and already gotten my movie ticket. So now I'm going to finish eating my burger, wait around until 9:15. It's 8 o'clock right now. I hope that you have a good night. And whenever I come back, whenever I return, I'll let you know what I thought about Dark Phoenix. So enjoy your evening till we meet again. Farewell.